All right, I think this time we're rolling. Hi guys, my name is Marissa. Welcome to Rissa Roams. Today we will be talking about my big three for the Appalachian Trail. So for those of you who may not know, the big three are your three biggest, most expensive, typically heaviest pieces of gear, and honestly the most crucial for you while you're out in the backcountry. So the big three include your pack, your shelter, which could be a hammock or a tent, and your sleep system, which typically includes either a sleeping bag or quilt and a sleeping pad, maybe a pillow or a pad liner, depending on bag liner, depending upon your preferences. So let's get started in mine. So my big three is probably gonna look a little bit different than some of the people that you see on YouTube. I definitely was operating on a budget. I did not have the money to get a Z-Packs tent or Gossamer gear or a Hyperlite bag. I was trying to be as smart as I could with the money that I had, do as much research and find things that would work for me, be light enough, but also not break the bank. So my big three end up coming around 8 pounds total, which I know is not super light, but I am keeping my base weight around 15 pounds, which I think is a good fit for me. But ultimately, these are the things that I have chosen as my big three, and I'm pretty happy with my decisions, although they may not be the most popular. So to start off, we'll do my pack. This is the REI Flash 55. This retails for about $200, but I got mine on sale for about $140. I really like this pack because, one, I definitely wanted a framed pack, but I wanted something decently lightweight. This comes in right under 3 pounds, I believe, but it has all the features that I was looking for. It's got a lot of great padding, both in the shoulder straps, the hip belt, and in the back. It has the hip belt pockets, which are great for snacks and keeping anything you need quick access to, like your headlamp. It does have this phone pocket. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep it or not, or switch it out for something a little bit more waterproof. We'll see how I feel as we get closer. It also has two really big pockets on each side, and then it has these forward-facing water bottle pockets, which I really love. I can easily grab my water with my tiny little T-Rex arms, so that worked out well. And then it has the brain. Right now I think I'm gonna keep the brain. I do just like having more pockets and easy access spaces on my pack. I may end up changing my mind and sending that home. Obviously this pack is not gonna be waterproof, but I have thought about how I want to protect my gear. So I'll definitely have a pack liner inside. I also will be using a poncho, so that can cover my pack during pretty heavy rain too. Oh, one more pocket I forgot to mention is this one on the front. I know the older models of the Flash 55, this pocket was entirely stretchy. I do kind of wish it still was. Just this doesn't give me quite as much give as I would like, but in there, of course, have camp shoes, rain gear, bathroom essentials for easy access. So that is my pack. Next up, we will talk about my tent. This is probably a more controversial choice. This is the Naturehike Cloud Up 1. It's about $90 on Amazon, and there's a little bit of fear in choosing a tent that is that affordable. Will it keep me dry? Will it keep me safe? Will it withstand? But I did a lot of research before going with this tent. I was looking at the Perea Outdoors Bryce one person, which I really liked, but it was a bit more expensive and a bit heavier than this, although the structure is pretty much the same. Of course, when you go with a company like Perea, you are getting the guarantee of a great company that's going to stand by their product, that's going to send you replacements. But I decided to take a risk. I did my research, and there is a backpacking YouTuber in the UK called Summit or Nothing who uses this tent a lot. I watched him use this tent in some pretty extreme weather, and it held up. It does seem to be a pretty popular tent in the UK. And then I also watched some videos with My Life Outdoors, and he seemed to have some mostly positive things to say about it. So I could regret it. I could end up having to switch tents while on the trail. We will see, but right now I'm putting my faith in this tent. I did also just want to hop on here and say part of the reason I went for the tent that I did is I really wanted something that was freestanding or semi-freestanding, and I also wanted something that was double walled. I know that the Appalachian Trail is a wet trail, and I wanted to mitigate condensation as much as I could, so I did go with this as opposed to a trekking pole tent. I did just want to show you guys a little bit of the inside of the tent here. It is pretty spacious for a one person. I know it's not huge, but it is plenty of room for me and should fit me and my pack comfortably. So I once again look forward to testing this out, seeing how it does in some cold, wet weather. All right, next is my sleep system. I have the NeoAir XLite women's version. I went with this because it has the best warmth to weight ratio. It's got about a 5.4 R value and weighs in at 12 ounces, which is great. I got this on closeout, so I did not pay full price for this item either. I will say I'm a little concerned. My first usage of it, it did deflate overnight, so I'm gonna have to look into that, see if there are any holes that need to be patched.
Well, update on the Thermarest. It's flat. Don't know when that happened. Didn't really feel like it was flat when I was laying on it. But that's an issue that we're going to have to investigate. Great.
This is the one piece of gear I am most likely to switch out. I have considered the Nemo tensor or even just a closed cell foam pad. We will continue to test this out, try and find whatever issues are going on with it here, and then deal with those. So that is my sleeping pad. Now, my most exciting piece of gear. All right, this is my Enlightened Equipment Revelation quilt. I am so excited to have this quilt. I knew that I wanted a quilt. I am a stomach sleeper, and so I knew a mummy bag wasn't going to be the right fit for me. And I wanted something lightweight and warm. I love Enlightened Equipment products. They seem like an incredible company, and I knew that I was going to get one of their quilts one way or the other. I originally was actually going to get their synthetic quilt. It's more affordable, but it comes with drawbacks. It's a little heavier, and also it does not pack down very small. But that was what was in my budget. I was so fortunate. Miranda Goes Outside did her 100,000 subscriber giveaway. I participated in that, and I was lucky enough to win this quilt.
Really? We're fast. Whoa!
I think it was
I think Marissa
Fulton. That's what I got too. She said
I think so.
Jacket.
Torrid Jacket.
Sorry, I said the other name first, but yeah, that's the first to say the name of it was
Marissa Fulton. I
Marissa
think
Fulton.
you're our winner. Sick. All right, you want to write that down?
I'm writing it down right now.
Okay, so Marissa Fulton, reminder that we will Oh my gosh, you're planning your AT Thru hike. Oh, dude, this is perfect. It'd be so great.
So good.
Congrats, Marissa.
So this is the Revelation 850 filled down. It's a 20 degree. I ended up going with the regular length. I could have done short, but it did say to add about 5 inches to your height if you're a stomach sleeper, so I did do that. And then I also got it with the draft collar, so you can cinch that up and it will keep your keep all the drafts from coming into your quilt. The Revelation does open up into a blanket, and so when it's hot outside, I can open that up and use it that way instead of as a sleeping bag, but I can also zip it up and use it as a more traditional sleeping bag. Can cinch that bottom. It also has a draft collar at the feet to keep your feet nice and toasty. And so that is my quilt, and I'm so excited to have it. So Miranda goes outside. I'm sure you're not watching this, but thank you so much for this quilt. It means the world to me, and it was just a huge confirmation when I won this that I was going to do this trail, and so I thank you for that. So I haven't had a lot of opportunities to test out this gear. While I was in Florida, I did test it out in my front yard. I'll insert some of those clips from that.
Hey there guys, good morning. Coming to you from a pretty unconventional place. I am currently camping in my front yard. I've had all my gear for a little while now, but haven't been able to get out in the backcountry and actually use it. And with some dog sitting gigs and moving back to Georgia and all the packing, didn't know when that would happen. So I decided when I got home from work last night, I pitched my tent, and then when it was time for bed, I came in here. And so it was a pretty rough night's sleep. I chose the front yard because we live in a good sized city, and our house is in a small neighborhood, but it backs up against a pretty major road. And with Hurricane Ian last year, our fence got knocked down, and it actually belongs to a business and that's on the road. They never replaced it. So I decided that it would probably be a little bit more quiet and less foot traffic in the front yard than the backyard. But there was still a good amount of foot traffic last night. I don't know what was up. I've never noticed people walking down our street in the middle of the night, but I heard people at midnight, 1, 2, 4 o'clock. So not the most restful sleep. But my gear was good. It was 74 degrees when I got my tent last night. Mind you, it is November 17th, 18th. So my 20 degree sleeping bag was a little bit overkill. Didn't really use that most of the night. This morning it dropped below 70. And then I kind of used it to cover up a little bit. I have a 20 degree Revelation down quilt from Enlightened equipment. So first thing when I got in here last night, I converted it from the traditional backpacking quilt to a blanket, which was much better. The tent was good. I've got a cheap $90 Naturehike cloud up one, but for those of you who aren't familiar with that tent, it is pretty similar to the Big Agnes White Creek and the Paria Outdoors Bryce. When I came out here last night, there was already some condensation on the outside. Happy to say, after sleeping in it all night in this steamy weather, no condensation inside. The tent is good. there was a light rain last night and this morning, and this was a very cheap tent, but I've heard wonderful things about it. I've watched plenty of reviews. I've seen it used in terrible weather, and I'm pretty confident in it. We'll see if I regret that, you know, once I'm on the trail. My sleeping pad is the Thermarest neoair XLite, the women's version, and it was good. It was good. I did forget to bring something to use as a pillow out. I'm not a pillow person. The pillow I use in my everyday life is paper thin, so I'm not someone who's going to use a backpacking pillow. That is just not necessary for me. I really don't need a pillow at all, but the fabric on, or the material that this pad is made of did kind of irritate my face, but I brought in a pair of socks just in case my feet got cold last night. I didn't think it was likely, but just in case. And well, this is what I used as a pillow. And it was great. Rested my cheek on that sock and kept my face from getting irritated. Didn't need a pillow. All good. Let's see. Oh, also with the neoair, I've heard a lot of people complain about the noise, with it being very crinkly. That wasn't an issue for me either. So far so good. I mean, very tame night, and I was just in my front yard, but wasn't upset with any of my gear choices yet. So I'm looking forward to getting to test them in some actual weather that they're, you know, gonna be tested in. So, all right.
I'm looking forward to getting to test this out in colder weather and wetter weather now that I am back home in Georgia. So yeah, continue to follow along as I do those shakedown hikes and get to see if this gear is the right choice for me. But right now I am excited. So like I said, this totals into about 8 pounds total. My pack is a little less than 3 pounds. My tent is a little more than 3 pounds. The quilt comes in at around 23 ounces, and the sleeping pad that I have for right now is 12 ounces. So yeah, that is my gear. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning into this video, especially if you made it all the way to the end. I really appreciate it. All of the support has just been incredible. When I started this channel, I did not anticipate the following and the support that I would get. I'm not gonna lie, it is way more than I ever thought that I would have, and I just cannot say thank you enough for everyone that is coming along on this journey. Yeah, so thank you for watching this. This was my big 3. I look forward to telling you about the rest of my gear as we get a little closer to time to hit the trail. But yeah, of course you can find all my videos here on YouTube, but you can also follow me on Instagram at Rissa Roams. Thank you so much. Bye. All right, just doing a little test, seeing how this looks, seeing how this sounds. Hopefully it looks fine. It seems pretty crooked. Here we go.